My name is Luis. I perform under the name Intriguant. I'm a music producer, sound designer, and a DJ. My recent releases are Kindred and Spirits, Spirits being my third album. My first release was the Ellipse EP with Syndicate, as well as the Recluse album. And I also curate a night in Singapore basically dedicated to showcasing up-and-coming electronic music artists, producers, singers under uploading. How Spirits came about was, Spirit is actually the unofficial part 2 of Kindred. So Kindred mainly is about the idea of where I came from. So those nights that I used to go, like for example like the Syndicate nights back at Home Club days, or like the Good Times party at Blue Jazz. So all these parties don't happen anymore, or even the spaces don't exist. So it's like I wanted to kind of, it's kind of like a tribute, or like, you know, reminiscing of the good old times of everybody being together in the same space, listening to the same music and all being in the same wavelength. But then for Spirits, it's more of how we transition into when everything ends and then you go into an empty space. Somehow to me, when I feel that when I go into an empty space, it's like you can still feel there's a certain energy in the space. So that's when I actually thought about the whole idea of like how in spaces they have the certain kind of energy and like, you know, spirits and stuff. Not in the supernatural sense, but it's just like you can feel it, like, you know, you can see the dust particles in the room and everything. So I wanted to kind of like portray or project the kind of concept into the music. Ellipse and Recluse were very different. They're more like chill and more collaborators, like, you know, singer-songwriters involved. I guess during that time, I was thinking a bit too much about how to create a unique sound. So now, especially with Kindred and Spirits, my mindset kind of changed into like, whenever I'm producing or like creating something, I don't think too much. I just like, you know, create whatever, even though if it sounds bad or sounds good, you never know. So I'll just create the whole thing. Don't think so much, I just create based on whatever that I'm feeling. Because to me, when I'm making tracks, they're all kind of like puzzles. So like, okay, this sound fits this sound, and then like this chord or this melody fits this thing. So it's like how like everything kind of, to me, it's like how all the layers kind of glue together. When it comes to collaboration for my releases or like for any performance, there needs to have a certain kind of connection on like a personal level and stuff. I will have a sense of like, okay, maybe we can collaborate, or maybe like my stuff and his stuff can work. Even for Recluse, those collaborators that like the singers that were involved, I kind of have an idea of like, when I was making their tracks at the time, I kind of have an idea of like, oh, maybe this person will sound good, or that person will sound good. The track with Charlie, when I made the track, I had the instrumental track already. So I was thinking like, hey, who will sound good for this track? I was just playing him some of the beats that I have. So I was playing him the beat that I wanted him to sing. Then when I was just playing and he was doing something else, then when he heard the beat, he totally stopped and said, hey, whose track is that? I said, hey, that's my track. He said, hey, anybody sing on that? I said, no, you want to sing on it? And he said, okay, on. Then he actually played guitar and then he sang on it. So that's how the collaboration with Charlie Lim started. I'm still trying to fight it. I'm caught of a lifetime, but I'm already tired. Yeah, so it was kind of like a lot with many of them with Tim, with Ginny Blue, Eugenia was also like that. So yeah, to me, it's that the first barrier is myself. I need to see whether we can work. Like I have the feeling whether we can work, then after it will work. So even for the live performance, it's also with Flex, because me and Flex we talk, we meet up, sometimes we chat, and then we thought like, okay, let's work on something. That's why Temporal happened. So for uploading, how it all started, it started in, I guess, July 2019, if I'm not wrong. But then I was thinking about it, like, I guess somewhere in December 2018 or January 2019, because at that time, there's not many nights happening for, like, at least for the electronic music side. There's a lot of DJ nights. The DJ nights are good, but I keep seeing the same familiar faces. Like when I help Syndicate to produce some of the nights before, like help organize and stuff, or even with Good Times, our idea has always been, we need to see new faces. Like, you know, every time you feel good when you see somebody like, hey, a lot of new faces today. Yeah, that's the thing that we try to get. So with uploading was kind of like, I felt that there's not a lot of like interesting electronic music nights happening that I want to check out new music. It's very hard for me to check out new music, and a lot of times I just see like through Instagram, like people post snippets and stuff. So I thought, why not, instead of me just being a guy at home and just like, you know, complaining like, oh, Singapore boring, man, like there's no events happening. Then I say, okay, why not I just start a night, because I have all the, like, to me, I have enough resources, enough friends and contacts that are willing to jump on and help. So I want to showcase new producers, but I also want to showcase like the current guys, but doing new stuff, like produce their new album and whatever. So that was how the idea of uploading started. So the idea was always been, it starts early, so it always starts at 7 p.m. all the way to 12, because it was meant to be a showcase. It was not meant to be a club night. The energy was great, like it felt like a club night, but you look at the time, it's only 8:30, 9 o'clock. So for the collaboration with Kick Theatre for doing the Running with Strippers show, they wanted it to be an audio-visual show, so it's like a collaboration between the visual artist and the musician. So there's a lot of new visual artists that I saw, and I knew that could do like really good work. So I thought, okay, why not we just like pair people up, like the producer, the music side and the visual side that I want to kind of like blend together. So my idea was, okay, let's start to think of who's around. So actually I got like, you know, I got Bigot again to kind of play. Then I got Cayenne, and then Hakim Deform, and then we have Gemma, and then I was looking at Slow Talk also, and then I got Kribo also. How I kind of schedule the lineup is that they don't need to be in a format where they are like, you know, oh, the highest energy act will play the last, like the closing. Like I would just put them in any different direction or every different schedule, and I thought like that would work, because I've just seen that in Japan when I was playing a gig in Osaka, and that was how one of the organizers did. She just planned anybody in random order, but then it was a nice, it worked out because there was a nice reset, because you kind of watch the person, and then when that's finished, then after that, when the changeover, that's the reset. Then after like everything become fresh again, then you watch the next person. So there's no need to build energy throughout the event. And lastly, another group of people that I actually came to know and I really liked the music that kind of inspired me as a producer is the Syndicate guys. So Syndicate, I was a huge fan of Syndicate, so their home club parties were like amazing. They always have international artists playing, and then you have all the local guys playing this new sound. So every time we also like we want to go to every Syndicate night, and then Syndicate was kind of opened my perspective to visuals also. So they always try to pair up music with visuals. So that's one of the thing I learned till today, like how to kind of create a show or even organizing a gig. It was through Syndicate.